I had a near-death experience after I had been involved in a near-fatal auto accident resulting in head trauma, which caused me to stop breathing, necessitating the use of a ventilator and an accompanying coma. Since coming out of my coma, I've had vivid remembrances of my near-death experience, the time I was on the other side in a heavenly realm. I remember there was a bright mist permeating everything. The light was everywhere, it even passed through me. I can remember looking at my hand and the light passed through it. I could see my hand was transparent, but this did not surprise me. As I walked with this heavenly personage, his countenance shone with such a brightness I can't describe. I knew this heavenly personage was Jesus. He didn't say who he was, I just knew. I remember walking with him, but we weren't walking in the physical sense. The best way I can describe it was that we were floating a bare space above the ground. Everything had an overall whiteness and brightness about it. You could see the color bright green of the plants. I could see the water, and a bright glow surrounded everything. The water was so sparkling clean. I remember wanting to bend over and take a drink from the stream that was running through this garden we were walking through. When I tried to scoop up the water in my hands, the water ran through my hands, literally, and it wasn't wet. Jesus stopped walking and looked at me while I was bent over trying to drink this water. I could feel his eyes on me. My thirst for this water, even though I wasn't able to put it to my lips and drink it, was gone. I can't describe the sensation I felt when the water was passing through my hands, but I did feel something, though. I felt this overwhelming desire to experience everything about this garden. When this heavenly being and I talked, it wasn't with our mouths, but I knew that we were communicating. His countenance fairly shone, and how he felt about me shone forth around him. He simply exuded love and concern and caring for me. The feeling of peace was indescribable. I was given the choice that I could either come back to this earth and live more life or stay with him there in heaven. We both knew that returning to this earth would be a struggle, because I had told him that I wanted to come back to this earth life if I could help myself and others. He knew that I didn't want life on this earth if life meant being trapped in an unresponsive body unable to communicate. The look of love in his eyes as he looked at me filled my heart with joy then, and as I write this, that feeling of joy I felt then comes back to me anew. I don't know how I did this, but I could see my husband there in the hospital holding my hand and talking to my body. It was as if I was in the room, but I was seeing him from a different vantage point other than through my eyes. I felt a strong desire that I wanted to return to the earth and live more life with my husband, if I could communicate with him and help him. The Lord understood and heard the desires of my heart. The next thing I remember was trapped in my body while others cared for my physical needs. I remember that I could tell what the nurses were thinking by how they touched me. I knew if they thought I was going to live or not through their touch. I knew if they thought they were caring for a dead person whose spirit wasn't there. I remember trying to scream out, "Look, I'm alive. I am going to live." I relaxed and trusted the person much more if I knew that they knew I was there in my body, and that they believed I had a chance to live. I obviously could read their thoughts. While in this heavenly realm as a spirit, I remember communicating telepathically. I'm frustrated when other people can't read my thought or I can't read their thoughts. Speaking through my mouth is so physical, and difficult, I might add. The phrase this world uses, being soulmates, generally in romantic terms, is referring to the communication between two souls. This may sound unbelievable to some, even mystical to those who haven't experienced the spirit-to-spirit communication. To communicate on a spiritual level is very profound, a great blessing.